Alright, I want to show you guys what I've been working on today. I'm pretty stoked about it actually. So, press play, and I press start on a Xbox controller, and nothing happens. What the fuck? Wait, what? Oh, I had to be clicked in the screen. Okay. Anyways, so my guy pops out, and I can control him and look around and shoot. And all of that is being done with an Xbox controller instead of mouse and keyboard. And the way that I'm using InControl, which is a service that allows you to basically not worry about it, and it's going to handle all these things. So if I plugged in a PlayStation, 4 controller, it'll handle the input in a similar fashion the way it would the Xbox, so that I don't have to, because all the controller inputs are different. So like joystick, buttons or right trigger is not the same input as an Xbox One's is. So you'd have to create different inputs for each device, and that can become tricky. So what this allows you to do is to have one set of inputs mapped to basically every controller. So super cool. So that's what I spent today doing. And I also got it to work with, I guess I'll restart just for the sake of showing you. Got to work with multiple controllers as well. So I can have two different people. Two different players. I'm using two different controllers right now. So I'll move. This is the second player controller. Moving the top screen, and then this is the first player controller. Moving that screen. I haven't mapped it accordingly, so like right now it doesn't really matter what controller you have. It's kind of order in which you join the game determines which player you are. But eventually I could change that around if I wanted to. But yeah, so that's really cool. So this means if my buddies and I want to play, we can all hop on a hop on a ship. I'll be on the guns, and then I bring my guy over. Oh God, you're gonna crush me. I'll avoid your crazy guns, and I will hop on the ship, and I'll fly the ship around, and you can fire your weapons. And yeah, so very cool, very fun. But I want to kind of show you how I did it, because it wasn't exactly clear from the SDK documentation how to set up player controls. So I just kind of want to show you that, and for myself, for future reference, how I set it up. So let's see here. I don't even know what that is. So in my player script, I have, actually in my game manager script, I basically have, where is it? Input. Okay, here we go. So I use the input manager, which is this device that you get with InControl, and it's kind of the same. Oh, I can turn off that, I guess. So you get this. It comes with the package. And then in here, I say grab the active device, which is essentially if any button was pressed on any controller, like the most recent one, grab that. And so this is if the command button was pressed, which is usually like a start or a select button. And if the number of devices I have attached is greater than the amount of players who are currently in the game, in other words, if there's room for a new player in my list of devices, then we'll add the player. Otherwise, we'll just say, hey, plug in another controller because you don't have any slots available. And if I add that player, I basically tell that player script, hey, use this device, and I have that based on the player count. This is kind of what I was telling you. It determines what order you were added to the game. So I'll change that eventually, but right now it just says if you're the first player added to the game, use the first controller in the list of devices. And that this devices array, as I understand it, kind of randomizes, like it's not consistent, so that's why it's kind of problematic. But anyways, so in the player script, I have a controller, and that allows me to do things like controller.action1 was pressed. Action 1 is the A button on an Xbox controller. It's the X button on a PlayStation 4 controller. I don't know what it is on keyboard and mouse. But anyways, if you press that, you can interact, which is how I enter the doors and stuff. And then here I say if controller.left stick vector, and this is a cool way of grabbing all the horizontal and y axes of your joystick. So I have you move according to your left stick input, and your aim spot is determined by your right stick up here. I did it this way because the way it works, it's hard to explain, but I'll explain that later. Action 2, this is B, that causes you to crouch. I don't even know if I have crouching implemented, so it doesn't really do much. But yeah, so that's how it's done. And really handy, because now if I go to my friend's house and they have a PlayStation controller, I won't have to worry that I didn't bring, the right controller. And because I'm using a controller on each player and assigning it to a particular device as that player is added to the game, I can ensure that the input is only getting routed through the right device, so that player 2 is not controlling player 1 and vice versa. But that's not really documented very well in the InControl documentation, at least as far as I could tell. So yeah, that's the progress I made on this day. Hopefully soon I will start getting more of the fun gameplay in, but I just really wanted to get this working so that I could oh, that's interesting. Why are both guys shooting? Huh. That's interesting. So look, I can rotate my guy, and I can rotate this guy independently, but when they fire... Oh, that's so weird. Only the firing, if I'm on the active controller, is being routed. If I do it on the other controller, it doesn't fire on the first character. What the fuck? Let's find out. Where's my shoot button? Where's my fire? Where's my steady fire button? If controller dot... I wonder if it's because it's a late update. Let's see if I move this. I don't know why I'm showing you guys this. This is probably very boring. I apologize. Let's see this. If alive, do nothing. I don't know if this will make a difference, but worth a shot. Alright, so I'm on player 1 controller and I'm shooting just him. Player 2 controller shooting both. What the fuck? And it's just that button. Oh man. Alright, well, another puzzle for another day. Ciao, Bellas.